Thank you. Thank you, members of the committee. This item, the substantive item on tonight's agenda, concerns the redevelopment of the West London estate. A fairly detailed description up before you, if you'd just like to take a look at the screen. I think it's worth just going through that so we can just understand the components. This is a hybrid application, which effectively means it's coming forward in part detail, part outline form. It proposes 2,000 residential units, a new school, community building and associated commercial uses, open space and infrastructure. The outline element, which is by far the most substantive part of the development area, consists of 1642 residences, a substantial amount of B1 class floor space, which is effectively the school and nursery and community centre, and a variety of commercial uses, A1, A2, A3, A4, associated with the local centre. The buildings will range from 2 to 29 stories, and as I've indicated, there will be associated works comprising of public open space, private open space, parking, public groundworks, and importantly, 2 pedestrian bridges across to the Welsh Harp. The full plan application comprises of 358 units, with some commercial uses, but very limited, and proposes buildings between 5 to 26 stories, with car parking and open space. It also includes a proposed energy centre that will provide some sustainable power for the entire site. I think we all know the site quite well, and where it sits in West London, particularly against the Welsh Harp, which is a triple SI, a site of special scientific interest, so it is of sort of national importance, and you can see sort of where that sits in this boundary here, outlined in yellow, okay, with his estate there hatched sort of in red, the A5 running sort of north to south along that right-hand side. So you can see that the triple SI comprises a substantial area of vegetation and water to the back of the site, and it is also obviously next to a substantial area of recreational space. Okay, and I think those two elements form a key context in relation to the estate. They have an overview of the estate itself, okay, with the Welsh Harp to the A5 running across the middle of the site, and the piece of that is also there across the town centre located. So that the estate forms a very important part, I think, of West Hendon, and in terms of how it contributes and relates to the town centre. They have just an allocation to the plan, and identifying the detailed and outline components. The outline element is coloured orange, and the detailed elements are coloured blue purple. So there's an area that forms part of 358 units adjacent to the Welsh Harp, and a smaller amount behind the lots fronting the broadway. And the remainder of the site is also come forward as part of a series of reserve matters phases accommodating the 1,642 units, including the associated infrastructure and other facilities. These elements that are projecting out include the positions for the Silkstream Bridge across the Welsh Harp on this side, on the northern side of the site, and the Coolock Lane Bridge adjacent to the existing sort of bridge that links the southern end of the development. Clearly there will be works across the A5 and up towards Hendon Station, and that is also forming part of the outline element. Here we have a proposed master plan, indicative, but effectively gives you a good indication of how the new development is configured. And as you can see, and this was a critical part of the master planning of the estate. It is generally laid out in a traditional street format, so streets running north, south, east and west, comprising around blocks of varying sort of heights with internal communal courtyards. The difference between effectively this scheme and the consented scheme back in 2008 is that this has tried to sort of introduce some more traditional urban design principles in respect to the way we lay out open space, the street pattern, the nature of the block work, so that it provides it with, I think, a little more legibility. It provides it with a little more, the spaces and the buildings with a little more definition, so they relate to one another more clearly, and it probably overall gives you a better sense of sort of orientation within the site and how it relates to the surrounding area. So critically, for example, you do have some fairly key routes that link in to the Broadway, running along the top here, and also sort of providing that visual and physical connectivity to the Welsh Harp. And I think that's incredibly important, given, I think, the disadvantages, unfortunately, that the current estate suffers from. We do know it is poorly sort of, has poorly defined sort of, open spaces. It doesn't really relate terribly well to the wider area, particularly the Broadway, dominated by the Perryfield Gyreatory, and you certainly don't get a sort of a sense of sort of place when you're sort of meandering around the estate. You only time go towards the Welsh Harp boundary, okay, where you have a definitive piece of sort of open space that you sort of know your way around. So I think the rationale behind the remaster planning of this and the essential to come forward with a more livable and just more sort of cleverly sort of designed suburban urban quarter. So I think a lot of thoughts gone into it. I think there's a key issue also in relation to in that clearly to make it sort of viable, to improve some of the urban design elements, we've actually operated parts of the Broadway, which we're going to be coming forward under a compulsory purchase order, and Ramsey Close, comprising a series of houses and family houses, and perhaps not desirable, sort of given the current context, to remove. So this current scheme actually pulls away from demolishing the Broadway blocks, from demolishing Ramsey Close, but also sort of delivering and stitching sort of urban fabric with the space that is left behind, to bring a better, more clearly defined layout. And this is certainly what Barratt's and Metropolitan have been working on over the course of the last 2 years. Okay? I'll just go through some sort of images just to sort of indicate, some of the sort of challenges that sort of currently are presented in the area. You've got the Broadway looking across on which the estate falls behind these blocks. These are now sort of generally remaining. The costs involved are prohibitive under the current circumstances, but of course the estate won't have substantive sort of longer-term benefits for the revamp, the uplift and the regeneration of the local town centre. And clearly there are major works along that stretch of the Broadway which will also enhance the public realm and the environment, which is incredibly harsh, as you're aware, in this part of the A5. Some more images. That is a public car park, as you know, behind one of the blocks on the Broadway. A very ill-defined piece of sort of townscape. So the idea is that we will try to repair that, and that will go and that will form part of one of the blocks, the detail element of this hybrid application. Okay? So you won't get that ugly sort of rear section of those blocks fronting the A5. We want to try and sort of build up against those and ensure that we've got a proper boundary that can present itself neatly against the rest of the development. We have another look, a view across that car park going up towards Tyrrell Way. Again, a bit of a mess, ill-defined, and no sense of place whatsoever. The other view looking from the sort of that York Park looking up towards Franklin House, 14-storey block, the only tall tower sort of in the existing estate, the remainder generally being 6 stories. But again, no sense of place and no sense of sort of real kind of public sort of private environments. So just to sort of recap, 2,000 units, okay. That's above, I should add, the existing developments that have happened, as you know, amounting to approximately 186 units. So we are looking at a sort of scheme of at least 2,000, so 186, plus the retained properties on Ramsey Close and on the Broadway, which takes it above 2,200. Okay. We've got a 2-form entry primary school. We've got a nursery. Community centre, okay, that provides flexible space that could be used for all kinds of, sort of community functions and facilities, including healthcare facilities in due course if need be. And ultimately, unlike sort of the previous scheme, this is very important, you've got a viable and deliverable scheme. Okay? Barratt Metropolitan Council spent time rethinking this. A key decision was made a couple of years back to actually forge ahead with a new scheme, and we didn't do that lightly. The scheme had to be deliverable because we've been 10 years plus in the making on this project, and I know everyone is very frustrated, including residents, about sort of how long it is taking to sort of kick this off. So that was a key aspect of sort of moving this project forward. It had to be deliverable. Okay. And of course, critically, we're also seeking to deliver 500 units of affordable housing, 43% affordable rent, the remaining being intermediate. Looking at sort of the detail around sort of how that's broken up, you can see that currently there are provision has to be made for the 212 secure tenants on site. But also clearly we have affordable housing that can be provided for other residents who will be seeking to be rehoused. Okay, it's an incredibly complex project, as you can appreciate, in respect to rehousing and decanting sort of smoothly. It's approximately a 17-year build-out, so it's not going to happen overnight. But it is obviously critical that we engage very carefully over this process with residents to ensure they are aware of what is happening sort of at every stage. I think it's worth noting just what are the kind of the other benefits that we're sort of seeking to gain out of this scheme. This is a £500 million investment. It's one of our largest estate regeneration schemes. About 1,000, we think, full-time construction jobs will be created throughout its duration. We've got the longer-term jobs associated with users. We've got clearly sort of benefits arising out of the new homes bonus, through the delivery of this project, which is a significant income stream longer term. Additional council tax revenues, and importantly, we're going to be sort of accommodating approximately 5,000 new residents in this location. Might seem a hell of a lot, and it is. But with that kind of population density, you also bring spend and you also bring vibrancy to a local area.